NXT Takeover War Games 2 from Los Angeles. Review. Hi, how are you? It's great to see you. I'm RazMansReality, here with another video, and this is my review for NXT Takeover War Games last night from LA. So if this is your first time here, and film, TV, comics, tech, and professional wrestling are all video subjects you enjoy, then consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing that bell notification icon so that you don't miss out on any of the future geektastic fun. The show opened up with a surprise appearance from Matt Riddle, who challenges Cassius Ohno, who had some harsh words for him on the pre-show. The two are scheduled to have a full match that will air on Wednesday on the first NXT following TakeOver, but Matt Riddle says he wants him now. Ohno answers the challenge. The bell rings. Riddle immediately hits him with his finisher move, and 1, 2, 3, a knockout in about 30 seconds time. Really strong way for Matt Riddle to go over in his NXT TakeOver debut, and a nice surprise because you don't see unannounced things on takeovers very often. I think the last one was Seth Rollins appearing during the Triple H feud a couple years ago going into WrestleMania. Next up, we had the NXT Women's Championship match as Kairi Sane challenged Shayna Baszler to try to regain the Women's Championship. A lot of back and forth action in this match. It was a really strong match. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir do get involved, and both Dakota Kai and also Io Shirai making her official NXT debut after the Mae Young Classic come out to try and even the odds for Kairi Sane. However, in the end, Shayna Baszler does gain the 2 falls necessary to beat Kairi Sane and retain the NXT Women's Championship. It was a nice 2 out of 3 falls match. You had both women getting even amount of falls, making the 3rd fall necessary to have. Next up, it was Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. As you'd imagine, one of the matches of the night for sure. These two have great in-ring chemistry together. I really like the evolving of Gargano's character that he's gone through, and he sort of referring himself as the Black Suit Spider-Man, utilizing these powers to do the right thing, kind of choreology. And I do really like that way of thinking from Gargano, this slight character change, but still believing he's in the right. He still wrestled like Johnny wrestling. It was very competitive match. In the end, and a little bit of a surprise, considering I think this feud doesn't have to end here, Aleister Black gets a rather decisive win over Johnny Gargano. So I'm not quite sure if that means Aleister Black is going straight into a rematch for the NXT Championship against Tommaso Ciampa now, or what is going to happen with that. But of course, that was the next match. It was the NXT Championship match, as we saw NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa, as I accidentally just spoiled, but if you're watching a review, you probably already know what happens. But anyway, Tommaso Ciampa retains in a fantastic match against Velveteen Dream. This is the best I've ever seen Velveteen Dream look. Now that may come down to being in there with Ciampa, and Ciampa helping out a lot with that, but I really enjoyed this match. There were plenty of times when it looked like Velveteen Dream was going to win the NXT Championship before Ciampa puts him away. So I really like this. It'll be interesting to see what Velveteen Dream does going forward. And in the main event, it was War Games number 2 for WWE, as the team of Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and the War Raiders took on the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole. And in a surprising move, the second surprising move of the night, in my opinion, along with Aleister Black beating Johnny Gargano. It was the team of Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders who are the victors here. And an absolutely chaotic match. I mean, this thing started out with all four members of the Undisputed Era just dominating in their respective men advantage situations. Then Bobby Fish is the last one out of the shark cage for the Undisputed Era, and he proceeds to take the padlock from his cage and put it on to the cage where Pete Dunne was the last one for his team to be in the cage. I thought this was really smart because Dunne, of course, is still recovering from injury that he suffered on the Indies, so this lightened his load a little bit to keep him out of the match longer, and it was a really inventive way to do it. In the end, because Bobby Fish throws away the key, the referees have to use bulb cutters to cut open the shark cage to release Pete Dunne to officially start War Games. And this thing was just everything you'd expect it to be, full of amazing spots, full of weaponry. You know, I almost couldn't keep up with it. The end of the match saw a double pin by Pete Dunne and Ricochet to win the match. And the big spots were Adam Cole and Rowe, or was it Hanson? I believe it was Rowe, but I apologize, it could be Hanson. But the two of them were fighting up on top of the cage, and you saw Ricochet do a 450 splash off the top rope of one of the rings down below. So there was a lot of crazy action. What on paper was one of the weaker cards they've ever had for TakeOver ended up being one of the stronger TakeOvers in a while in terms of just the over-the-top crazy effort from all the people involved. So even though we didn't get a debuting indie star like we usually get in the crowd, or any of those holy crap moments in that way, the performances overall were very strong on this show. So I give NXT Takeover War Games 2 a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Let me know what you think about this show down in the comment section down below. If you're so inclined, you will find ways to help the channel grow in the description box below. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do so right now if this was your first time here by hitting that round subscribe icon on your screen right now, and you can check out my latest upload and the video that YouTube itself recommends best for you, the viewer. And as always, this has been your RazMansReality.